Hi, welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. Hope you're having a good week. In this week's video, I'm going to talk to you about the temperatures of a site I went to where there was a call out, where there was only one or two individuals that were complaining about no heating, no hot water. So I checked the Billy basics, the pressurization units, all the pumps and so on, and all those were working well. I made sure that heat was coming from the boiler, and as you could see here, I had a range from about 68 to 72 Celsius on the two 4-shaft burners. So what I did is on the main boiler, I tweaked up the temperature and came back to the site later and then saw the temperatures rise from roughly 74 to 78. That's more ideal than what it was, because as you know, ideally you want about 80 Celsius, because by the time the heat gets through plates and to the hot water at the flat, you're basically going to get a better temperature that's required, like 60 to 65 Celsius. Tweaks the temperature up for that. Here you have it. Here's the temperature, 75.9 when I recorded it. At this particular site, it was a domestic job I got sent to, and I went to this site and the boiler said L2, so it's idle logic. Said that the problem was the L2 means your boiler has lost its flame. This can happen for a variety of reasons, including that your gas pressure has dropped too low or that the flue has a issue. If you have a pay-as-you-go or gas meter and accidentally run out of gas, you may see this code displayed on the boiler. I had a look inside, I checked the ignition. I did check the gas eventually and then saw that it was off. I couldn't get the emergency credit on because the card wasn't available on site. The resident took the card, so I couldn't use the emergency credit. I got two booster pump sets here, Noara pumps. What I checked was the amps that this pump should be using up, and the pump on the right was approximately 4 amps across all phases. One of the phases was slightly out, but the pump I found operating was only using up about 2 amps. Got my magnetic pump tool on it, even though you can see it spinning, but you just want to see that it's rotating the correct direction, and it was. So here's my amps on the pump that wasn't operating as it should be. So it was actually rotating on the impeller, but I don't think it was making proper contact. So that's why I believe the ampage was so low. Let me know what you think. So I had 2.16 when I should be getting around about 4 on one phase. Then I got 1.63 on another phase. And then I got 2.4 on another phase. So far too low than the manufacturer's guidelines of about 4 amps. On the pump that was operating fine, I got 3.8 amps, 3.3 amps on one phase, and 4.51 amps on another phase. So this is what happened. Used on the pump that only had roughly 2 amps and checked out one of the residents, no water. Also checked in the tank, in the loft space, and the cold water storage tank, there was no water going in. So when we went on the other pump number 2, which was pulling about 4 amps roughly, that pump was allowing the water to reach upstairs into the main cold water storage tank. So the pump was vented and so on from the vent point. The pump in the corner over here had a decent vent point over here, but the other pump over here, you had to use one of the vent points that were slightly higher up. It's around the other side. At this particular site, I got called back for a hot water problem on a record, but it's a very strange one. I made a previous video about this, and this time it's on, and I'm not getting any problems for some time, no callbacks. But I do think that this PCB unit here is becoming loose very easily. All you have to do is knock it from the left slightly, and it will come out of its housing. Also, the probes, what I did is I just used my long nose pliers on the flame detection and the electrode, because they were just falling out far too easily. I used the long nose pliers to tighten them up a bit so that they were sitting securely, because all someone needs to do is walk past here, knock this unit, and they just drop out. And I think that was tripping the MCB. Here you have it from the distance. On this particular site, you've got a boiler which I found. There's 2 boilers here working flat out. Only one of them is working. I've been having intermittent problems with one of them when they work for like 24 hours or 48 hours and then they lock out. So this was the temperatures, not enough for the resident. This is the culprit, this particular boiler here. So had a look at the Billy basics, the ignition board, cleaned the pilot and so on. And this was it before cleaning the pilot. It was quite a small pilot. Serviced it up, cleaning the probes, but ideally need new pilot assembly, new ignition board and so on, new leads, because this keeps happening on this job. get it working for 48 hours or so, and then having to go back to do more work on it. So it looks like it needs some proper TLC and some parts. This is the process of me cleaning it down, using the file on it. It's a burner, a redundant burner on the left. And these are the little tools I've got out on site. And this is the ignition board on the left, and these are with the 2 burners out. Okay, and some quick analytics from my channel before you go. Thank you for subscribing. I've almost reached 1,000 subscribers and can't wait to hit that mark. This is basically on YouTube. When you're making videos, they show you in YouTube Studio what channels that your audience are watching, for instance. And they say people are watching PB Plumber, Plum Like Tom, MJ Tiff Plumbing, Caprani Plumbing and Heating, Snap Gas, CP Utility Solutions, Tomcat Gas Training, Advanced Boiler Training, Urban Plumbers, Dr. Pipe, and Heating Geek. So that's what a lot of you guys are watching. This is basically in the last 28 days, the videos that my audience have been watching. I didn't expect this one, check water. So basically on dishwashers, that's been quite a popular one. People have got problems with their dishwasher, getting blocked and so on. And a lot of people have been watching that. No central heating, I didn't expect this one to be so popular. This was actually a job I didn't get paid for. No central heating on a Valent boiler. That's why I had to dig up the ground and so on. It took a day or two. I wasn't expecting that to be such a popular video. Saved the customer a lot of money there on rising damp and on gas bills over the years. At least you guys are watching that video and taking something from it. Flavel Milano. This also was this one, I could have done a better video of this Flavel Milano one of changing an element. It's a video that is kind of universal, because changing elements on electric ovens is something that not everybody always does. I've only done it once, I recall, once or twice. It's quite good to know how to do it and not to just throw an oven out as soon as the element goes, when you can get an element for a tenner. First site. So this is a series of me going back 4 to 5 years as a commercial engineer, and some of the first sites I got exposed to and some of the mistakes I made or some of the successes. So those are good, and some of them have also jogged my memory to some of the sites I used to go to and what I learned from them. In the life, this one was a good one. People have been watching. This Ariston Solar is in Tenerife, taking part in an installation on a roof. This is also one of the first sites video. Is an interesting one. This is a little series, as well as anytime I get an opportunity to make a video of a van, what it's like inside and so on, I make those. This one here is one of where I am on a site, just checking how epoxy is going to work in doing a quick repair. And this one here is mainly just to get people to talk and open up about the pros and cons of their experience of being employed or self-employed. And a few people shared their opinion of how they find being self-employed or employed and the pros and cons. These are basically showing me my top videos in the last 48 hours, how they've been doing. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing if you have. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for your support. I hope that my channel is helping you in some way, shape or form. And until next time, I hope you're having a good new year. Bye.